broadcast of WNYC 99 years ago tomorrow. Andy, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
That's a cheerful little earful, gosh, I miss it, something fearful. And this cheerful little earful is the well-known I love you. Stocks can go down, business slow down, but the milk and honey flow down with a cheerful little earful of the well-known I love you. In every play, it's a set phrase.
WNYC supporters include Carnegie Hall, presenting Sir Andrew Davis conducting the National Youth Orchestra of the United States on July 14th. On the program, Berlioz' Symphony Fantastique and Barber's Violin Concerto featuring Gil Shaham. Tickets at carnegiehall.org.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC NewsHour on WNYC. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on. London, good morning.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm Tim Franks. On today's NewsHour, should the US give cluster munitions to Ukraine? That's BBC NewsHour, coming up at 9 on WNYC.
78 and partly sunny out there. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today and 86 for a high. We cool off just to 73 overnight. A slim chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, and partly sunny once again, 86 for a high. Again, partly sunny now and 78 in the city.
The labor market remains strong, but hiring was not as high as expected in the new data out just now.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Charles Schwab. The people at Schwab are passionate about helping investors. Learn more at schwab.com/whyschwab.
I'm David Brancaccia. The fresh jobs report this morning finds 209,000 more names were on payrolls in June. A parallel survey of households covering people either working or actively looking for work finds the unemployment rate dropping slightly, 3.6% now. Economist Julia Coronado of Macro Policy Perspectives and president of the National Association for Business Economics joins us. Julia, for once, a downside surprise.
Yeah, the first in more than a year, although, the drop in the unemployment rate confirms it's still a healthy labor market.
Healthy labor market. Where was the hiring? Typically, we think these days, hotels, restaurants, not this time.
No, actually, retail was laying off workers, as was the tech industry and the temporary health industry. Most of the hiring was either state and local governments or private healthcare, which are still in catch-up mode.
They're still in catch-up mode. That's interesting. A lot of government jobs, though, right?
Yeah, a lot of teachers being rehired and other sort of state and local support workers.
All right. Wages, though, still ticking up for those wary of inflation. Still something to worry about.
Yeah, so wage growth has gotten kind of stuck at above 4%. That's uncomfortable for the Fed. So more than likely they will move forward with another rate hike at their July meeting.
All right. Happy, though, for people who got raises. Economist Julia Coronado is also a professor at the University of Texas, Austin. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Stock index futures are mixed following the report. S&P futures are up just slightly. Dow futures are down slightly, 17 points. The 10-year interest rate is down only slightly, 4.06% still. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is in China in an effort to put the U.S.-China relationship on a more even keel. Today, Janet Yellen spoke at a roundtable of representatives from U.S. companies doing business in China, and she's meeting with Chinese leaders, both past and present. My colleague Kai Ryssdal is in China, traveling with the Treasury Secretary's media pool, and he joins me now from Beijing. Hey, Kai.
Hey, Dad.
I thought the Biden administration was decoupling from China. The Treasury Secretary says, no, that's not what's happening.
Oh, yeah, no. If you ask Janet Yellen about decoupling, she will definitely give you a very dirty look. They are being very emphatic here, Yellen and her staff, that what is happening is America is looking out for its own national security interests and trying to improve its own internal economic situation, but definitely not decoupling.
So clearly, Secretary Yellen is trying to highlight areas of common ground?
Yeah, I think, the Secretary Yellen is over here representing American interests, of course, but she does want to see, number one, tensions come down, right? Things are not great between the United States and China right now. And when you've got the two biggest economies in the world not really getting on, that's not really a good thing. She is being very calm, I guess, is a word you would use. And Janet Yellen is a calm woman. She's very steady, right? And she wants to make sure that everybody understands that America knows it's in our best interests to have a good relationship with China. She is trying to convince the Chinese of the same thing. And look, she is well liked over here. She is well respected because she is not a natural born politician and has not come up through the ranks that way, but rather as an economist and a very serious policy woman. She brings a gravitas that the Chinese appreciate.
One quote from Janet Yellen when she was speaking to executives from some big U.S.-based companies is getting some attention this morning. The secretary said, "I've been particularly troubled by punitive actions that have been taken against U.S. firms in recent months." What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've obviously been following the news and the coverage of that quote. I was in the room when she read her prepared remarks. And I'll tell you, I think it's probably the difference between print and audio. That was a line buried inside a mid-range paragraph in a page-and-a-half statement. It was not delivered with any emphasis. It was not delivered at all in a special way. And I think what has happened is that people have taken that line and run with it.
But Yellen did hear other issues from U.S. executives. You were there for that.
Oh, yeah. And look, she has been hearing from American executives about some of the things that have happened, right? And Chinese employees of American companies have been arrested and detained. There are laws here. A new espionage law has been passed that is giving American executives some pause. And let's remember, she was speaking to the American Chamber of Commerce in Beijing, so she knew her audience. That said, this remark is, I don't believe, what Yellen would want to be highlighted because she really, really wants the American relationship to be steady. She wants it to be calmed a little bit in the American relationship with China, and at the same time knows that she has to look out for American companies.
Marketplace's Kai Ryssdal covering the U.S. Treasury Secretary in China. Kai, thank you.
David, good to talk to you.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by JLL, a commercial real estate partner dedicated to creating lasting change for good in business, communities, and the planet. JLL.com. See a brighter way. And by Grammarly, offering Grammarly Business to help companies large and small communicate better and move faster with enterprise-grade generative artificial intelligence. Learn more at Grammarly.com/business.
The government is proposing new rules to crack down on what the Biden administration calls junk insurance. These shorter-term health plans offer lower premiums, but the coverage can be crummy, leaving patients with expensive bills. Marketplace's Nova Safo has more.
Short-term health insurance plans have been a contentious topic for years. The Obama administration in 2016 limited their use to 3 months to encourage more people to sign up for health care through Affordable Care Act marketplaces. The rationale was that Obamacare plans offer far more comprehensive coverage. Short-term plans are limited. Monthly premiums are lower, but they can discriminate against pre-existing conditions and impose strict coverage caps on things like hospital stays. For example, $1,000 a day for hospitalizations that can cost $10,000 a day. Still, the Trump administration sought to expand access to short-term health insurance, saying that can be a good deal for healthy people who have little need for coverage. In 2018, the administration changed the rules to allow people to sign up for short-term plans for about a year and renew the plans for up to 3 years. Now the Biden administration wants to reverse course again, back to 3 months, with the option to extend coverage to 4 months. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Our executive producer is Kelly Silvera. Our digital producer is Jordan Manji. Our engineers are Brian Allison and Nick Esposito. I'm David Brancaccio. It's the Marketplace Morning Report. 8 p.m., American Public Media.